time for our next Disney World Staycation.
And you will not believe the price.
Hey there, man fam. We are back for another edition of our Staycation series, this time at the Walt Disney World Dolphin.
We've already done this series over at her sister resort, the Walt Disney World Swan, but today we are taking you with us to the Dolphin to check out everything this deluxe resort has to offer, including one of the newest restaurants in all of Walt Disney World.
So let's go.
Super excited to be back at the Swan and Dolphin complex. We had an amazing time at the Swan, so big thank you to the Swan and Dolphin team for reaching out and hosting us, especially because so many of you have asked to see these hotels. These are some of your favorites, and I've never stayed here, so excited to check it out, including, as I mentioned, that brand new restaurant. Now, the Swan and Dolphin are both considered Disney deluxe resorts, but they are not owned and operated by Disney. They're some of the very few on property that are not. They are both technically part of the Marriott International Hotel Group. Now, this was built during the Eisner era of Disney World when he was trying to bring more conventions to the property. He thought there was a business niche for that. So Disney partnered with then Starwood Hotels and Resorts, which Marriott bought in 2016, and architect Michael Graves to build the Swan and Dolphin. And these are two of the most distinct looking hotels on Disney property. They're some of the few hotels that you can see driving about very clearly from many different angles, which is largely thanks to how big they are. That iconic triangular tower right here at the middle of the Dolphin is 257 feet tall. And there's also the Dolphin statues on either side of the main building, which are 56 feet tall. Now, if you're like me and as a child, you were very confused why it was a fish when it's called the Dolphin, because you were looking for Flipper and consequently Elijah Wood playing Sandy because he was one of your first crushes, but that's not who's here. It's the fish dolphin, like mahi mahi. So the delicious kind of dolphin, not the smart bottlenose kind of dolphin. Well, that's enough yapping. Let us venture into the lobby, check in, and get to exploring, and most importantly, eating.
All right. And now we step inside of the beautiful lobby with all of the palm trees, high vaulted ceiling, and it continues forward and opens up to be even more grand. Here is Fuel, a little grab and go spot where you can also get some coffee. I'm definitely going to be getting some there later. And I'll say this lobby is much more grand than the one you're going to find at the sister resort, the Swan, with that beautiful glasswork coming from the ceiling and the iconic dolphin fountain. Now, aside from being where you can check in and get your room keys as well as information about the resort, this lobby also has a huge sitting area for folks to lounge or conduct business. You also have the Finn's lobby bar if you'd like to pick up a libation. We'll have to check that out later. And as always, you will have a Disney merchandise location, and they have a vacation planning center here as well. Now, just like at the Swan, here at the Dolphin, if you are a Marriott Bonvoy member, you will receive all of the associated benefits as a member, as this is, as Molly mentioned before, a Marriott hotel. That means you can use your points to stay here and accrue points by booking here. Plus, you are eligible to receive or use any of the benefits of your membership.
Gonna explore the gift shop now. It is a requirement, I think, when you're staying at a Disney hotel to explore the gift shop. And we have a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of grab-and-go snacks to bring back to your room, the Disney-branded things. These are my favorite. I get them on mini staycations. They're fantastic and actually have a little heat, just as a little pro tip from me to you, the spicy butter toffee nuts. And then there's a variety of Disney apparel, swimsuits, some items in case you forgot something, like over-the-counter medicine or other toiletries, games, pins, and then some of the seasonal collection as well. Also, I think whoever made
birds and then move on.
I think whoever made this may be depressed because
I'm sorry. Bangers only.
Bangers only, but if you're sad. Also, I just noticed an impeccable detail. Come.
Oh, Kronk.
Look.
Kronk up there. Oh, yeah. Orange bird.
I picked a random bag dongle because I had a neutral outfit on, but who knew I'd be so themed?
Coordinated with this very niche item.
Yeah, I themed my whole fit to this.
Yeah. Then we have down here
Baymax.
And up here, Figment.
A random group. Alan, if you were going to choose one of those four characters to be on your team for battle, who would you pick?
My team for battle?
Yeah, not Orange Bird.
No.
Baymax.
Baymax or Figment, one of the two. Here's why. Figment will annoy the nonsense out of my opponents.
And you.
Some things I'm willing to take for the team. If I gotta get the W somehow.
I think Baymax is like a
objectively best answer.
and has proven himself in battle.
Well, that's mostly the armor.
I assume he's gonna have it.
Oh, okay. Well, fair. If he's something fully equipped, yeah, Baymax. Otherwise, he's just an incredible healthcare companion. Blah la 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 la.
He will make me happy. Right next to the Disney store, there's another store called Resort Essentials. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, we have some Swan and Dolphin fits, which I actually do really like this hat. That's nice. And then they have some non-branded apparel, as well as more sundries, jewelry, hats, accessories, spa wear, etc. No Molly. They don't have Max either. Wait, I might have been in the girl section. Seems like we're in the girl section. There's no boy names.
Really?
Other than Ashley, which is a unisex name. Or Angel, which is a unisex.
Angel.
Is there 99% Angel? Because that's really more the MySpace type tag I'd like to have.
There is Bad Girl.
You can have that one. It's a little silly to assume that a boy wouldn't want a blinged out keychain with their name on it, but that is what we're assuming. Alan.
Yeah?
Do you know who that gift shop's for? I figured it out.
Who?
Okay, so you and I, and a lot of people watching this, probably are coming to this hotel to go to Disney World.
Right.
But what we're forgetting is that a lot of people that come to this hotel are here for work, for a convention. And when your parent goes to a convention, if you're a dad going to convention, you have to bring your kid back a present. Like, that's the rule. Like, whenever I was little, my dad would go out of town. I'd be like, bring me a present. And he would bring me some knickknack. This gift shop is exclusively for the dads that forgot to get their kids a present, and they have to get them a knickknack.
But they don't just want to go to the Disney gifts and sundries right now.
Maybe they don't want to make them feel bad that they were at Disney World, so they have to get them, like, a generic knickknack.
So they're being thoughtful.
Sure, but also forgetting, but also remembering. You know what I mean? This is the hotel gift shop version of the airport gift shop. And yes, I know moms could go to the conferences too. Obviously, we stand a working queen, but I'm just drawing from my own experience.
But I am in need of coffee, so we are headed to Fuel, which has a variety of snacks and other food items, including some adult beverages. And Molly has now disappeared around the corner because she noticed what I saw a little bit earlier, and that is this really incredible piece from Monsters, Inc. All of it candy, all of it worked sugar, with Mike Wazowski on his stool, Randall down below. This is so cool. And you can also pick up candy while you are here. So this is not just for the vacationer. You too, dear conference goer. If you need a little bit of sugary fuel, they got you covered. But anyway, back to Fuel. Outside of coffee, they also have things like froyo, pastries, sandwiches, and some grab-and-go items. For us right now, we're going to be picking up what I desperately need for the day for energy, and that is coffee. Well, we have our coffees, and you know what goes naturally with coffee? Froyo. Let's get our froyo because I need some Cap'n Crunch.
Is that Butterfinger?
It sure is. And I believe, Molly, those are Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. There's so many good toppings.
Oh my gosh.
Candy rocks.
I'm...
Fruity Pebbles.
All right, we got Oreos. We got to put the camera down. We got to make our froyos. Here it is, the most natural combination known to man. We have our iced coffees, our cold brews, and then our froyo. Today we have prepared for you, dear viewer. Chef,
for me, it was really all about the toppings. So I went with vanilla froyo, and then I loaded it up Menchie style. I got Reese's Pieces, I got Cap'n Crunch, I got Fruity Pebbles, I got Butterfinger, and of course, sprinkles on top.
and for you today, Chef, I am presenting a very simple combination: strawberry froyo, oodles of Cap'n Crunch, and a sprinkling of the best runt, the banana runt.
This is good.
Oh my God. That tastes like a moxicillin. And I don't know why that's such a strong memory for me or why I enjoy it. Was it weird that I wanted to get strep throat so I could have the amoxicillin?
Yes.
Anyway, I like banana runs.
Okay. Now, I think instead of reviewing our own, we have to review each other's.
Oh, okay. Let me fight through the layer of...
Gotta get all the layers.
Oh my.
Did you even get ice cream?
I did. It's in the bottom. There's just so many textures there. All right, let's walk through what that just was. Wow. Start off with a great classic flavor of rainbow pebbles, fruity pebbles. So just the flavor of general fruit, led by the delightful slicing of the top of my mouth with Cap'n Crunch. And then chocolate and peanut butter.
So delicious.
Yep.
I know people watching this are probably like, Molly, you hate sweet things. You put so many toppings on that. But I just got to say, nostalgia is a hell of a flavor. And whenever I have froyo or things like Cap'n Crunch, I'm just a child. So, but you know what? Even as a child, I did not like banana runs. So, but I'll make sure to get one. The strawberry froyo is very good. The Cap'n Crunch is delicious. This is my favorite cereal. Alan is right. It tastes like medicine. It's horrible. I think it's very on brand for you to try to create a cohesive like strawberry banana breakfast thing going, and mine's just chaos.
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
No, but it's not the fountain like the fountain. It's the fountain like the restaurant.
Oh, that is okay.
Wait.
Why don't they have the "You Are Huge"?
Alan, it's the levels. You see how the different.
Molly, we're so smart. We have degrees.
We have to go under. We got to go down the escalator.
Got it.
Okay, we got it. All right, we're a little confused, but that's okay. We are looking for our next destination because as delicious as froyo is, it's not lunch.
It's not a real...
So we're headed to find lunch in this giant hotel that we don't know that well. But that's part of the fun. I do want to point out a couple cool things on our way though, because this is really nothing if not an adventure. I spotted this Tafiti, and I want to know what it is. It says, this is, it's like from Imagineering, a model of Tafiti from Epcot's Journey of Water. So that's pretty cool. Also right here, some of the dining. We're going to be back here later. And across is the Mandara Spa, which is a full service spa, massages, facials, hair, nails. I used to get my hair done there, actually, fun fact. And so if you need any of those services, there you go. But I need an adult to go down this escalator because I have my hands full. I need an adult. I'm afraid to get on the escalator without being able to hold onto the handrail because it's very steep.
I need an adult, she says. You nailed it. Way to go. Look at the beautiful view of the fountain out there, and just across the way, the Swan. All right, making our way. We're passing the fountain, which is like a little diner, slice of Americana, soda shop vibe. They have pretty good food, mostly like sandwiches, burgers, and the like. Although I think the highlight of that menu is the incredible set of milkshakes they have. So good, in fact, I think that if you can't get a reservation at Beaches and Cream, I think this is a great alternative option. It's just not going to have all the fanfare of Beaches and Cream. Oh, we have found the games and lane situation, arcade / bowling alley / food spot.
All right, so amidst all of the claw machines and basketball and Popeyes game, we have mini bowling, which we're gonna do right now. It's a little overcast, it's threatening to rain, so we are gonna go eat outside at the pool bar and then explore that. But this is a fun kind of rainy day alternative, and Alan's getting us a game card because we're gonna bowl right now while we eat our lunch. Alan has gotten our game card and looks like he's in witness protection program right now. I would like to make this interesting.
Okay.
Go with me. I think the winner gets to decide what the loser drinks on our bar crawl / progressive dinner later.
Okay.
But I don't know if it at the first stop, the last stop, all the stops. What do you think?
How about the winner decides when to
one drink.
The winner decides
Yeah.
which of the spots when it is convenient for them.
Yeah, and they choose the other person's drink somewhere.
Yes.
So you could be nice, you could be mean.
Correct.
But you are in control.
Yes.
All right, let's play.
Okay, I have my game card. It takes 20 points to play. I don't know. I have to swipe it? Oh, that's why. In U-Tunes, go inside the game. U-Tunes is a full bowling game that lets you take your picture right from the console. Ooh, we will of course be doing U-tunes.
Yes.
So we have to place ourselves properly on the frame. 2 players.
2 players.
Oh, and after some delightful fun at the arcade, on our way out, you pass their very large fitness center that is located at the Dolphin Complex. It looks to be quite big and have a great deal of machines, treadmills, and weights. And also, there are quite a few people in there, so we are not going to be going inside and doing that creepy filming thing. But what I will tell you as well is you have Camp Dolphin, and that is the kids club here. So parents, if you want to go to a nice dinner, maybe alone, you do have an option to drop your kids off at the kid club, Camp Dolphin.
Great news, it didn't rain. So we have brought our food outside to enjoy on a now overcast but not raining day. Bad news, the Swans have been docked again. So my dream of riding the Swan boats is once again dashed, but hopefully they'll reopen. It seems like they were closed for weather. Hopefully they'll reopen. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow I can ride the Swan boats. One day I will ride you, my pretties. Specifically one of the ones with sunglasses, obviously. So that was pretty fun. Huge arcade, lots of fun games. And now we are out at the pool area. There's several pools, including this is like one of the quieter pools. There's also one that has a big water slide and different activities. You can purchase inner tubes and other things. And then there's poolside activities like ping pong and basketball and pool. This kind of pool, not the other kind of pool. You get what I'm saying.
Gotten our food. We have picked up the crispy chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce and a side of fries. And Molly specifically sought out the fried mozzarella. They are half moons, and she'll be enjoying those.
These smell very good, so I'm very excited. Pretty good. This is delicious. It's fried cheese, but it's good quality mozzarella cheese, and the breading has a ton of seasoning to it. It's a little greasy, but of course it is. But the breading has tons of like oregano and other Italian seasoning, so it's better than just like if this was, you know, frozen and reheated. It tastes fresh.
Cheers. It's a lot of bread, but the chicken itself, crispy exterior, nice buffalo sauce. It's not super hot, so it's not going to be anything too intense for you spice averse folks. But I think the chicken's good quality, not dry, it's moist. I wish there's a little bit more of the slaw in the aioli, just to help counteract the sheer volume of bread. But this is a pretty darn good buffalo chicken sandwich, and there's only one thing I think that can make it better.
What I will say is generally for lunch, I do prefer food more like what they had at Fuel or what we got at Java at the Swan. They had some of the same items, kind of a little bit fresher, lighter, less fried, but we wanted to mix it up and try something different. And I think for like arcade food, it's better than average for sure.
Also, what a cool service that while you're at the arcade and you want a bite, or maybe you're coming in from the pool and you want to grab a quick snack and take it back out. That I think is really, I think it's a cool feature to have.
And speaking of being at the pool, if you want food, they do have Cabana out here, which is the pool bar that has a full menu, and you don't have to go up to the bar to order. You can scan QR codes at the pool chairs, and they will bring it to you poolside, which is excellent.
I should note that because the Swan and Dolphin are sister resorts, they do have some shared amenities, including this nice volleyball court and the playground over there that you can see in the distance. I would also like to say that the Swan pool, at least when we were visiting, felt much quieter and had much more adults there. So use that information how you will when planning where you're trying to luxuriate.
And speaking of shared amenities, one of the biggest perks of staying at the Swan and Dolphin, I think probably the number one reason to stay at one of these resorts is the location. So close to not one, but 2 Disney parks, as well as a lot of the most popular Disney resorts, which opens up a whole new realm of dining and entertainment. Where we are standing right now in the Dolphin courtyard area, if you look across the way past the awning right there, you're going to see some light yellow buildings with blue striped shutters. That's the boardwalk. You are steps away from the boardwalk, which means you could easily access Atlantic Dance Hall, everyone's favorite private club. You could access Flying Fish, and that also means you are steps away from Epcot's International Gateway, which is the back entrance into Epcot in between the UK and France pavilions. So I would say from here, 10 minutes or less to get to Epcot. You also, if you feel like walking, about a 15-20 minute walk over to Hollywood Studios from here. Obviously, that's a little bit longer of a journey, so not everyone wants to take that, especially before you go walk all day in a theme park, but it is very doable. And if you don't want to walk to either, they do have watercraft that will take you from in between the Swan and Dolphin right here over to both the backside of Epcot as well as Hollywood Studios and over at the Boardwalk Yacht Beach area if you are choosing to dine over at those locations. Now, as far as the other parks go, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, as well as the water parks in Disney Springs, the Swan and Dolphin does offer bus transportation outside of both of the resorts respectively. It says it comes about every 25 to 30 minutes. One con of this, I will say, is that for Magic Kingdom specifically, they're going to drop you off at the Transportation and Ticket Center, which you are then going to have to take the monorail or the ferry boat across, versus if you are going in a Disney Parks bus or a minivan, they're going to drop you off right at the front of Magic Kingdom. My recommendation if you're staying here is then take a minivan to Magic Kingdom or walk over to the Boardwalk or Yacht and Beach Club and use their buses for Magic Kingdom, but just keep in mind that is going to add extra time onto your day. So if you're trying to get there for like rope drop or for a specific thing, even though they're pricey, I personally would call a minivan. But yeah, being in this primo location, like literally Spaceship Earth is right there. I can see it directly in front of me. So that is a great perk. Also, how cool is this fountain? I love this fountain with the big clamshells cascading down. It's beautiful. Hey, Alan, you know what they say. There are big ships and small ships, but the best ship is friendship, too.
That is what people say.
That's the phrase, I think.
A very common turn of phrase.
After a long quest, we found our room.
Ooh. Ah.
All right, let's take a gander at our room. Starting with, this is a king room. Alan here is ready to pen a letter.
Oh, I'm looking out to our proximity to Disney's Boardwalk Resort and the fact that we could, with a hop, skip, and a jump, have our private club accommodations at Atlantic Dance Hall.
We could crush on the dance floor once again.
Absolutely.
That's true, because it's right there. This is an awesome view. Look at Spaceship Earth right there. You can see the Yacht and Beach. You can see the boardwalk. You can see parts of the World Showcase pavilions. This is awesome. But let's focus on the room here. Alan, how's that couch?
Has a lot of give.
I believe it to be a sleeping accommodation.
Good and comfortable, at least. Well, you certainly can't fit this way.
No, but you know what that means.
Oh, it must be extracted.
Yes, and tested. Do you know what song is stuck in my head right now? And I don't know why. Was it playing? Was Any Man of Mine by Shania Twain playing anywhere other than my head?
Molly, I'm so glad you asked that. I had one of our reels get served to me after it had been remixed.
Was it playing Any Man of Mine by Shania Twain?
It was.
Okay, it's not just in my brain. Shania reigns on. Okay. All right.
I have learned from these beds before. Gently, gently. You know, ooh. Not every bed's a winner.
If every bed's a winner, then no bed's a winner.
That's right. This bed isn't a winner. It's a 4.
Yeah, but it also doesn't even look like you'd fit in it, so I think maybe it's meant for children.
You know what? They're resilient.
They
are resilient.
They don't have back problems
Correct.
yet.
Hey, kids, there will come a time, okay, where you fall asleep in a position that when you go to bed is comfortable. And then it might be new to you. You might be, oh, I didn't realize my neck felt that way when I slept. Oh, it's so comfy. And then you wake up the next morning and you can't turn your head that direction. And
that's when you know it's all downhill.
Yeah, really, that's the sign, right?
That you're old now. Anyway, 4, but mostly meant for children. I don't think you could fit, really. I'm not just kidding. I'm not being dramatic. I don't think you could fit. I think I could fit as a 5'7" individual, but I really think this is meant for children. 1, maybe 2 really small ones.
Yeah, pack them in there.
But here's the actual bed.
Oh, wow. Oh, such an improvement. This is an 8.7.
Wow.
Yeah, she feels nice.
It does feel good. Lots of pillows.
A lot of pillows, firm, but just enough give to let your body sort of sink in. Good.
Well, we'll let him stay there for a second. I do want to point out a couple of nice amenities. One, here's your little tray with ice bucket and stuff, but our very nice Bell Services cast member who dropped our bags off let us know that the bottled waters were included and asked if we needed any more. There's 2 in the fridge as well, which I think is a nice little amenity. You also have the lamps right here. They do have some plugs. I have noticed this room is a little dated compared to the Swans, which just got renovated very recently, so this one definitely feels like the last renovation was about 10 years ago. But I do like that they've added places for plugs and such around. You've got a large TV right here, coffee, including, I like that they come with to-go cups in case you want to take that with you. And then an actual fridge right here, not just a beverage cooler. You've got plenty of drawers. Additionally, one thing I like about the Swan and Dolphin is they do have room service, which not all of the Walt Disney resorts, even the deluxe resorts, don't have. So if you're looking for something on maybe a rainy day or late night, it's open till midnight, and I appreciate that. Dads, here's that thermostat. Moving right along into the bathroom, you have a variety of amenities right here, which really tickles the inner Ross Geller because you've got a nail care set, sewing kit, shaving essentials, cotton wool cleansing kit, shower cap, and shoe care mitt. And I'm gonna take all of that because I love an amenity. Little mouthwash and hand lotion right there. Here you've got the first section of the bathroom with the illuminated mirror. Of course, a very important part of all of our room tours. It does have an attachment, which is a plus, but it's not my favorite. It's kind of middle of the road, so I'm gonna give it a 5.1, and that 0.1 is for having the attachment, but besides that, it's mid. I do appreciate that this is separated, so somebody can be getting ready while someone else is using the throne, but I do prefer when the shower and the toilet are separated so someone could be showering, just to speed things along. You've got a nice shower right here, not huge, but not too small either, kind of Goldilocks-esque. And then I do appreciate that while they do have the larger bottles, they also have the smaller ones, including this body buff, which again, I will be taking because I'm Ross Geller. So here's the closet. These doors are a throwback. We've got a safe, iron, extra bedding, ironing board, luggage rack, robes, and slippies. And then through a world of discovery, we have found this balcony, which is actually pretty massive, and an incredible view of the Swan right across the way, the full boardwalk, as well as Epcot, and you can even see like the Eiffel Tower and top of Morocco right there from some of the World Showcase. If you look farther away, you can see the Riviera Resort. You can see, I think that's Coronado over there, or is that the Mexico Pavilion? That's the Mexico Pavilion. Nope, that's Coronado. Well, yes. No. I think it's the Mexico Pavilion. But anyway, this balcony is amazing. I bet the fireworks view is incredible. I'm not sure if the timing's gonna work for us to see fireworks with our dinner reservations, but if it does, we will come back up here to see some fireworks from up this view. Okay, it's definitely Mexico, because if you look, there's Mexico, and then if you look into the tree area, there's a like round building with a kind of not very domed roof. That's Test Track. And if you keep going, there's a gold building. That's the Wonders of Life Pavilion. And if you keep going, there's a big building behind that. That's Guardians. So there you go. Okay, so that's the room. So there's some things I really like about this room, namely the view, the big balcony, all the amenities that come in here, and then the water bottles that are included. And you said the bed was very comfortable.
Bed was very comfortable, which also holds true because the Swan's beds are comfortable as well. I will say, in contrast to the Swan, this room does feel a bit more dated, and that's true because the last time it was renovated was 10 years ago. So that's going to be a key difference.
Also, same with the Swan, but just in general, there's not a lick of Disney theming in here. You are in a Marriott, and it feels like you're in a Marriott. So for some people, that doesn't matter. But for some people, when they're staying on Walt Disney World property, they want a little touch of Disney when it comes to their hotel room. So just keep that in mind as well.
Now let's talk about the price of the rooms. For a regular room tonight, that is
a standard 2-queen, no balcony, regular.
No special view.
Yeah, just a standard hotel room.
$299 a night.
Pretty good considering you are in what is considered to be a deluxe resort at Walt Disney World. So you not only have the location, you not only have the transportation to the different parks we mentioned so close to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, but you do get considered deluxe for things like extended hours, which are only for deluxe and villa guests when you can stay in one of the parks a couple hours late. You also, even though it's not a Walt Disney World owned resort, you still get the perks of the early entry, as well as booking your lightning lane 7 days in advance.
Not to mention, you have your sister resort right across the way that has additional amenities, and if you would like to, you can go to the boardwalk and take advantage of those resort amenities, or, like we've said many times, Atlantic Dance Hall.
The place is bumping. So pretty good price point if all you want is somewhere to lay your head, and also take advantage of some of those perks.
I mean, especially considering, let's look at Caribbean Beach. That would have been $325 for a regular room this evening, and that is a moderate resort, so you would not get those perks of deluxe resort staying there.
This room, however, is considered a fireworks view with a balcony king room. If you wanted to book this exact same room, this room tonight would have been $424. So probably not as much as most deluxe resorts in Walt Disney World, but again, a little bit higher price point because of that fun balcony. So,
and the great view.
With any hotel, there are going to be upcharges for better rooms. I would like to note one difference between staying here and staying at Walt Disney World owned resorts is that parking is not included when staying here. Valet parking is $46 to $56 per evening, depending on when you come. And regular parking, self-parking, is $38 a night. So, all things to consider when you're looking at the price, what's worth it to you. But I do think between the location, which is beneficial for all of the dining around here and the accompanying resorts, as well as being so close to Disney World parks, it's not a bad price point.
All right, that covers it, and I'm hungry because we haven't eaten in 20 minutes.
About right.
So we have a progressive dinner this evening through some of the delightful spots here at the Dolphin, but we have to get changed.
This is not appropriate, so we'll see you in a second.
Better.
All right, let's go eat.
Our first stop on our progressive meal across the Dolphin Hotel is Blue Zoo by Chef Todd English, a 4 times James Beard Award winner. So we're going to stop by here. It is a signature seafood restaurant, pick up some apps and a bevy before we head to our second destination. And a fun fact about this spot, it is called Blue Zoo because when Todd English's family were traveling to the aquarium, the kids couldn't say aquarium because it's a tough word for a kid, so they would call it the Blue Zoo. So the interior is designed to look like an aquarium as a reference to that. Now, throughout our dining tour of the Dolphin, we are going to be filming and then providing a voiceover of our experience later so we can be respectful to the other guests and patrons of the restaurants. Taking a look at the starters on the menu, you have things like Blue Zoo's signature clam and chowder and the Maine lobster poke bowl. They also have 3 seafood towers, which, as the name would suggest, are towers of seafood. Looking at the mains, they have the Angus beef short rib, some crispy brick chicken, and peppercorn crusted ahi tuna, and then at the base of the menu there are Todd's favorites, a reference to Chef Todd. And I particularly like how the crab fried rice looks and sounds. But today, for the first edition of our eating here at the Dolphin, we are going to order from the happy hour menu at Blue Zoo. This runs from 4 to 6 p.m. and from 10 to 11 p.m. And I'm also going to be cashing in the beverage selection from my win at Definitely Real Size Bowling in the arcade. On the sips menu of the happy hour, you have the Zooberry and the Serenity. They also have a Psalms pick for red and white wine, or beers, which are priced at $7. They also have some bites to share, ranging from the shrimp cocktail to the jalapeno hush puppy. We decided to pick up the tuna tartare. This is sesame soy dressed grade A ahi tuna, nori ash, and nitro sriracha aioli, alongside the crab nachos. This is made with crab, black beans, pico de gallo, guacamole, chimichurri, and white cheddar cheese. Now for those beverages, I ordered from Molly the Brown Butter Old Fashioned. This is made with Brown Butter Wash Brothers Bond Bourbon, Old Forester Hummingbird Bitters, Woodford Reserve Chocolate Bitters, and a Filthy Cherry. I picked up the Barrel Aged Manhattan. This is made with Four Roses Small Batch Bourbon, Dolin Rouge, Sweet Vermouth, Angostura Bitters, and a Filthy Cherry. My Manhattan was very strong, incredibly bourbon forward, had a little bit of that burn in the back of your throat. It was slightly lessened by the sweetness of the vermouth, but this is truly a spirit-forward Manhattan, so for those of you who would rather not taste the spirit, I would avoid this drink.
As far as the brown butter old fashioned goes, I was worried this was going to be a bit too sweet, as sometimes gimmicky old fashions can be, but this was actually delicious. I thought that it was a nice blend of the bourbon forward flavor with a little bit of unique sweetness from the brown butter, but it wasn't overwhelmingly sweet. In fact, I think personally this is better than the brown butter old fashioned you can get at Geo 82 as someone who likes a more spirit forward cocktail. If you enjoy an old fashioned, I think you'll enjoy this twist on it. And I appreciate Alan choosing this as his drink for me.
And for my dish, I tried the tuna tartare. The one thing that I have to note is the fish was incredibly fresh. Wasabi crema on top gave a little bit of bright spice to the tuna, helping break up the richness, and I loved the nitro sriracha aioli. It was a little bit like a science experiment when it first came out, and then it slowly melted over time and gave a little bit of extra creamy spiciness to the dish. This was fantastic and my favorite thing on the table.
The crab nachos were also quite delicious. I loved the brightness and herbiness of the chimichurri sauce. That was my favorite thing. Tons of toppings loaded on there as well. And there was a lot of crab, which wasn't too fishy. It just added a little bit of that salty flavor. If I had one note for this dish, a couple of the chips were too salty for me personally, but overall this was a very fun, very shareable dish, and our server let us know this is the happy hour portion. The regular size is twice this big, so you would need at least like 5 or 6 people to take the whole thing down, but a very fun, very shareable app.
Feeding one complete, and that was delicious.
Also, the service was fantastic. Our server, Ashley, was wonderful. But yeah, that food was delicious, fresh, great seafood starter. I would love to come back and try some more off the main menu.
Absolutely.
That crab fried rice looked bomb. But we are off to one of the newest restaurants in Disney World. That's right, we are headed to Bourbon Steak, which is from James Beard award-winning chef Michael Mina. I'm going Mina, but Michael, if you're watching, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. This opened up just a few weeks ago and replaced Shula's Steakhouse, which was a steakhouse run by a football coach, if I'm not incorrect.
That's correct.
I'm sure. What coach? Was he the Bears?
I believe Shula was the Dolphins when he was a major coach. Hold please, let's check.
The Dolphins would make sense to be at this hotel.
I believe it was. Mike Shula, Don Shula coached the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Mike Shula, his son, coached at Alabama.
Did he coach Dan Marino?
Did he coach Dan Marino?
That's the only Dolphin I know. Do you know why I know Dan Marino?
Why? Oh, he did coach Dan Marino.
He did? That's nice. Do you know why I know who Dan Marino is?
Ace Ventura.
Hi, Dan.
Obviously.
Yeah, naturally.
That's how I know a lot of things.
Laces out.
They're little footballs. Anyway, this is a brand new signature steakhouse, which I'm so excited to try because it's getting great reviews. So we are headed here for part 2 of our feeding journey. Taking a look at the Bourbon Steak menu, you start with some seafood options, including caviar and some chilled cocktail options. And of course, we move to the main menu, which has things from the grill, a whole variety of different steaks, as well as a salmon dish. And then if you'd like something not off the grill, they've got some classic items like their famous lobster pot pie, prime rib, a couple of steak and seafood dishes. Additionally, they have a variety of accompaniments for your meats or sides, which are made to share. Lastly, they have a beautiful cocktail menu with signature beverages such as the Friendly Face, Concrete Jungle, or as recommended by our server, the Ring of Fire, as well as a full wine list and plenty of spirits.
And surprise, 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 I got the Bourbon Steak Old Fashioned. This is made with bacon-washed Buffalo Trace bourbon, smoked maple, and orange bitters. This is by far the best version of the bacon-washed old-fashioned that I have ever had, and there are multiple around property that I have sampled, because it is not overpoweringly bacon-y. It's just a little bit of smoke coming from that bacon fat wash, then you get the spirit flavor followed by the citrus from the bitters. It was phenomenal. I loved this old-fashioned.
And I went for another classic, the Famous Martini, which is really a Vesper because it's made with Grey Goose vodka and Bombay Sapphire gin, a lemon Manzilla sherry, dry vermouth, and a citrus essence. Our server asked if I wanted it to come with a bump of caviar, and I thought, why not? I've had caviar all of 2 times in life. Let's make that 3. You know, in hindsight, I wouldn't spend $25 to get another spoonful of caviar. Maybe it's just me, but I don't get the hype behind caviar. It just tastes like I'm licking the sea, but if you like it, good for you. What I did enjoy about this cocktail quite a bit was it came as kind of a DIY situation. There were different toppings for it based on how you might like to dress a martini, whether that be a blue cheese stuffed olive or, like I enjoy, a lemon twist. This was a very good classic martini presented well, and I'd absolutely drink it again.
Now getting to our appetizers, I had the truffle treat. This is black truffle agnolotti with a burrata cheese filling and truffle butter. And folks, this was incredible. The pasta is made in-house, so it has a little bit of that firmness and density that comes from house-made pasta. It's also very rich, and the interior burrata is just ever so slightly melty, and on top you have actual black truffle slices and a delightful mushroom truffle sauce over top. This was so very simple and incredibly delicious and aromatic. I loved it.
We also split one of the Petite Romaine Caesar salads. This is topped with creamy caper dressing made in-house, Parmesan cheese, a lot of it, and garlic streusel as opposed to croutons. And y'all, I consider myself a Caesar salad connoisseur. This is one of the best I've ever had. I liked that the garlic streusel made it so that each bite had a little bit of crunch and there was tons of cheese on it. The dressing was somewhere between a creamy Caesar and a Caesar vinaigrette, so perfect texture. 10 out of 10, would absolutely order this again. We are also given the, quote, bread service of the restaurant, which is actually a fry service, and I think more restaurants should include this. It was a trio of 3 different kinds of fries, each paired with a different dipping sauce. You had a paprika fry with a bourbon barbecue sauce, a garlic and herb fry with ketchup, and a truffle fry with a truffle aioli. Personally, my favorite fry was the garlic and herb, but my favorite sauce was the truffle aioli. Either way, this was a delightful surprise. Plus, at this point, I've now had a martini, French fries, and Caesar salad. This is girl dinner, baby.
Now on to the main event. We got from the grill recommended by our wonderful server, Tyler, the 8-ounce Wagyu rib cap. Now, I have not ever had a rib cap before, and I was certainly excited to try the Wagyu version. We actually asked Tyler if we should have any accompaniments like dipping sauces to go with this cut of meat, and he actually said no. So we did not get any, and we ordered 3 sides, but 6 appeared. So thank you so much to the Bourbon Steak team for giving us a ton of leftovers that are currently in the small refrigerator inside of this room, and will find their way home to my refrigerator to be eaten at a later date. And the main thing I'm excited about, we get to review more for you so we can inform you about what you might want to get when you come here. But let's start with the steak. Oh my goodness, it was phenomenal. The best steak I have had from a steakhouse on Disney property, and I don't think it's particularly close. The crust on the exterior was light and thin and crispy, giving a huge textural contrast to the buttery texture of the meat within. It was cooked to a perfect medium rare. Tyler had it be sliced for us and brought out to the table. It fell apart, and the marbling of the fat on this made it taste, frankly, like meat butter. I adored it. And when paired with the tomato that had been broiled on the side with a little bit of horseradish and panko breadcrumbs on top, it was a nice little bit of acidity to break up the fatty richness of the meat. 11 out of 10, phenomenal cut.
Now, if you're like me, steak is phenomenal, but really it's all about the side, so let's get into it. Starting off with the creamy mac and cheese with black truffle. This was fantastic. Now, Alan and I are going to argue about this, but I think this was better than the agnolotti appetizer. 3 kinds of cheese in this. It was creamy, it was dreamy, the noodles were cooked to perfection, plus it had that umami truffle taste. This was one of the best mac and cheeses I've ever had at a steakhouse. Also tried the grilled asparagus with the house-made béarnaise sauce, which was also fantastic. The asparagus was big chunks, grilled to perfection, and then I had that eggy, delicious béarnaise sauce on top. I love asparagus, and this was very well prepared. But nothing could have prepared me for the loaded baked potato, which included all the fixins, and by that I mean instead of sour cream, it came with French onion dip on top. In addition to that, some chives, some white cheddar, some butter. This was amazing. I love baked potatoes. They are a guilty pleasure of mine. I order one from Outback Steakhouse regularly, and this kicked the pants off any baked potato I've ever had because that French onion dip added a little bit of zest you don't normally have in a baked potato. 10 out of 10.
Now for my sides, I had the whipped potatoes with the échappé butter. This is frankly more butter than potato. It was very smooth, incredibly creamy, and so very rich and buttery. I adore this preparation style for potatoes, and these were top on my list. I also had the roasted mushrooms in a garlic herb butter. If you're detecting a theme, that theme for my side dishes is butter. There was a lot of it here on these mushrooms. They're finished in a French liqueur that has a strong anise flavor, so that really did shine through. So you had the earthiness, the umaminess coming from the mushrooms, and then it was brightened up by this almost like licorice flavor from the anise. I personally love it, and these were some of my top favorite mushrooms that I have had prepared at a steakhouse. And lastly, folks, the thing that was far and away my favorite side, the jalapeno creamed corn with a little bit of mini cilantro on top. This was incredible. Growing up in the deep south of the United States, I have had creamed corn from a young age, and it is always very creamy and sweet, but the addition of the spice coming from those jalapenos helped offset that wonderfully with a little bit of acidity, and then you had the nice bite of fresh herbaceousness coming from the cilantro. Now, granted, cilantro is not mixed throughout, so if you're not a cilantro fan, that is not something that you have to have, so you can ask that to be removed, but for me, I love it. This was the best side dish by far for me.
And I'm going to co-sign Alan there. My favorite of these 6 side dishes was also the creamed corn. It was top-notch. But let's talk about dessert, shall we? Which is an entirely different stomach. They have a few desserts on the menu, but all of them from the ground up are made in-house, including all the dough, including all of the ice cream. There are things like the key lime Napoleon, the brulee Basque cheesecake, and even their own version of a root beer float. You know, I saw warm beignets on this menu, and we could not move past it. The beignets are served with 3 different dipping custards: a vanilla creme brulee with fresh raspberries, a milk chocolate pâte de crème served French style, and a Macallan 12-year Scotch butterscotch pudding. And yes, that is not for children. That has straight up Scotch in it. First of all, the beignets were delicious. They were light and airy, a little denser than Mickey beignets, but nowhere near as dense as my dreaded donuts. These were fantastic on the cusp of it, but then when you started dipping into the sauces, they were excellent. My favorite was the vanilla creme brulee with fresh raspberries, which on its own was a very delicious creme brulee. Nice light vanilla flavor, and that caramelized layer on top was excellent, but when paired with the doughy beignets, it was fantastic. I also enjoyed the milk chocolate pâte de crème, which was just a very rich, almost chocolate mousse-like in texture, classic chocolate dessert. And as far as the butterscotch goes, well, I need to refer to someone who loves scotch more than me.
We gotta talk about this butterscotch, folks. It was by far and away my favorite dipping accoutrement for the beignet. So very deep in terms of that butterscotch flavor. So a lot of that classic flavor that you would expect from a butterscotch was sort of like a spicier caramel. But what shone through was the smokiness of the Macallan. You could taste the richness of the scotch. It had a little bit of that peaty flavor, some honey notes coming through. A phenomenal pairing to help break up a lot of that rich doughiness of the beignet. I loved it. 11 out of 10 would order again.
At the end of it, this was a perfect dessert to end such an incredible meal. It was very shareable, a fun mix and match situation, and overall this meal was fantastic.
That was delightful.
That is one of the best meals I've had in Walt Disney World in recent memory. Like, wow.
I've been thinking about it for a while since we sat down. That is, in my opinion, the best steakhouse on Disney property.
Whoa.
Now, specifically steakhouse. There are restaurants that serve steak.
Yeah, there's lots of those.
And then there are steakhouses.
And the thing is, before when this was Shula's, it was a good steakhouse, but it wasn't anything unique. And you could say Bourbon Steak, technically it's a chain. This isn't the only Bourbon Steak in the country. And, it's still a steakhouse, which means it's not serving the most unique menu, but each item we had was very, very good. And it was a fun twist on a lot of classic items. Like, that was like the best baked potato I've ever had.
Same with cream corn.
Yeah, that was delightful. I will absolutely be back to try some of the other things like that pot pie. That was amazing, and the service was excellent.
Yeah, every single server, every single individual helping out, and they were all so very kind and great to speak with. But now, we have to go watch it's 8:41, so we're going to go watch the fireworks because we have a fireworks view room.
Yeah.
And then...
we were going to go straight to the Nightcap, but then once we saw the room view, we got to go see Luminous first, so come on.
What you got there?
Leftovers for our fridge.
No, I know that. On the other hand?
My blazer. I didn't need it, but it is chilly in here, but I didn't need it.
For all your business dealings?
It is a business resort, Alan. I am a businesswoman. Is there a businesswoman special?
Yes. Classic businesswoman.
A businesswoman, Alan, you've got a lot of balls in the air. Maybe we can circle back after Q3 so we can see who's got the bandwidth to take on this new project. Synergy, Q4 earnings.
You're doing great.
You got any?
Well, per my last email, the ball's really in your court, so we're just going to have to...
Yeah, that was pretty good. Listen, shout out to all the corporate girlies. I was a corporate girly for a while.
Same.
And I also was of the era that wore blazers as nightwear. Shout out to the millennial girlies.
That Venn diagram's a circle.
All I know is that Charlotte Pickles would wear this blazer to yell at Jonathan on the phone.
Jonathan really was getting into shenanigans.
You know what? Jonathan probably deserved it. Charlotte
Unprofessional.
Pickles, a queen.
True. This is the way.
Alan, who was your favorite Rugrat?
They were all nightmares. I think my favorite Rugrat was probably Tommy.
That sounds about right.
And if you and Max aren't just Lil and Phil, I think you're aspirationally Angelica, but
she was my favorite.
But you are just Lil.
I liked Chucky and Angelica.
Yeah, but you're certainly Lil, and Max is Phil.
Max and I are Lil.
100%. All right, well, the fireworks were great. I wish they piped the music in, though.
Yeah, I kind of thought we'd be able to hear the music from the boardwalk, but we could hear the music from the boardwalk, which is the boardwalk music, not the Luminous music. But Don't worry, I had it on Spotify.
And it was definitely matched up perfectly.
It was close
It was
enough.
pretty close.
You
did great.
Not my favorite fireworks show, but it was a very fun view, and I especially liked it when Spaceship Earth lit up, too.
That was cool. Something that you don't always see because we are typically in World Showcase watching the fireworks, so you don't get to see what...
Or Geo82 recently.
That's true. So you don't necessarily get to see what Spaceship Earth is doing. So that was cool to see.
The globe is on there. Wow. And better and bigger than the globe from Illuminations.
And with that, we're going to go to Finn's for a nightcap.
Talk about the quarterly numbers.
It's the only way we're getting in. Okay, well, we have waded through the chaos. Listen, honestly, that is just what it's like. If you're staying at a conference hotel, bars are going to be busy at night because folks have been working all day. They deserve a break, y'all.
Listen, that conference probably could have been an email. And Brenda's presentation went too long.
Brenda, no shade.
Brenda from HR talked for too long, and then Chad from finance had to ask a question at the last minute.
Chad, honestly, we are throwing shade there.
And then, Susan wanted to circle back about something from Q1.
No shade, Susan.
Listen, they need a cocktail, and they're all here to get one.
Yeah, so we got a old-fashioned, and then the Finn's very specific beer that is only made here for the Swan and Dolphin, and it's called Finn's because, well, Finn's.
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Pale ale.
Yeah, pale ale. It's very tasty.
I will review the pale ale. Still delicious. It's truly a very fantastic beer. It's light, It's weedy, it's crispy, it's got a little bit of fruit flavor to it, and yes, you can buy it to go. This is fantastic, and I'm always thrilled to enjoy it.
Cheers to the old-fashioned. We asked the lovely bartender to please find a high-proof bourbon and go light on the simple. And he was so very kind and did just that. This is very spirit-forward, exactly what I want. An incredible nightcap on the day, and not for the faint of heart. And speaking of the bar staff, massive shout out and thank you to you. You all are cranking through those drinks and doing an incredible job and maintaining a high degree of service. So I know all of you are watching, but maybe one of you are. And if you are, please know you're appreciated and you're killing it.
Last thing I'll say, like Alan said, yes, it's very, very busy at the bar. I think most people, this isn't going to be an issue for. Not that it was an issue for us, because like Alan said, the bar staff was incredible, but like most people at this point in the night are still in a park, possibly coming back from a park, sleeping. Or if you're a night owl, you're probably at something more exciting like Atlantic Dance Hall. But yeah, like Alan said, just know if you're at a convention hotel, there could be a convention.
Like Atlantic Dance Hall.
Everybody's at Atlantic Dance Hall. And by that I mean like 7
3 people are at Atlantic Dance Hall.
I want it to be I
and
love
we're
it.
2 of them.
I love Atlantic Dance Hall, okay? I want it to be a thing.
Okay, well, that was delicious. A great nightcap for the evening and into a phenomenal day.
And now we are headed to sleep. But we will see you in the morning, which will be like just a few seconds because we've got a few more things to eat. Got to ABE, always be eating, and a few more places to explore. Hopefully ride a swan boat. We'll see you in the morning.
Also ABE, always be exploring.
That's right. That's what they say.
And also swan boats. But we'll see you then. Until then, bye-bye
Always
now.
be swanning.
Good morning.
Good morning. The bed was so comfy.
Slept great.
And now
Coffee. Coffee, please. The first stop, of course, is coffee at Fuel. You can also do some mobile order here if you would like to save some time and order ahead. We didn't do that, so we're going to head inside and pick up the very necessary caffeine to get our day started. And then both of us are going to keep our fingers crossed to make sure that we can go see the swan boats. Hopefully this time. Maybe today. I will note about that mobile order, it is not through the Disney World app, it is through Swan and Dolphin's own app. So you'll have to utilize that, and it's great if you are planning on rope dropping for the day and want to get to the parks nice and early.
Coffee has been acquired. Also, look at this Bebe Pellegrino. It's so cute. And I really hope today is the day. There's a cast member going out there.
Maybe Molly.
All right, y'all, it's happening. It's happening. The boats are open. They are setting sail. We are gonna do it. Also, I thought this would cost money, but it's included with staying at the Swan and Dolphin. So, heck yeah. And it's a beautiful day. I cannot wait for this.
Beaches are open.
The beaches are open.
Amity means friendship.
The beaches are open. People are having a wonderful time. We did catch a large fish that reportedly injured some bathers. Look, there's some fish in there right now. I see it. I hope we get one with sunglasses. Some ducks over there. Do you think they want to befriend us since we are also a giant bird?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, she said, for steering, left is right, right is left.
Correct.
Not confusing at all.
No, not at all.
You're doing really good. I feel like we should name our swan. He's got a party attitude, which I appreciate because of their lei and their sunglasses. They seem like they like to have a good time.
You like to party?
Yeah. So something the party swan. Gladys the party swan. I'm gonna name her Gladys the party swan, specifically after the movie Weapons, because I feel like this is the right chaotic energy for that.
Literally, full tilt to the left here and we're turning right.
See, much like Weapons, you never know what's gonna happen next. Okay, we did it. And now I assume this is the hardest part. I'm not even gonna pedal. I'm not even gonna pretend to help at this point. You're doing a good job. Coming in hot.
How was it?
It was so great. We nailed it.
Welcome back.
That was a pretty good, Alan. That was pretty good
First of
parking.
all, that was a lead. And we
That was very good parking.
Aiden also recognized it. Game
That was
recognized
good
it.
parking.
Lead
That was
parking
good
job.
parking. Gladys the party swan. The Swan on the party boat.
It's interesting you chose Skimbleshanks' song for that one.
That's the only song I can remember besides Memory right now, and no one wants to hear me sing that.
All right, well, that was enjoyable, if a little bit exhausting. And you know what? I finally got the steering to work halfway through.
You know, I am not as tired. Can't imagine why. Yeah, that's a fun little add-on. It's not like, you know, if you're not doing a resort day, it's a silly little thing. But if you are doing a resort day, it's a fun little like bonus included thing that's very unique to staying at these hotels.
True. Max half hour on the Swan boats. Age limit is 4, so no younger than 4. And just something to keep in mind for you families coming down to try this out.
Yeah, it was something I've not done at Disney World before.
True. And I've now worked up an appetite.
Let's eat again. For lunch, we are headed to Rosa Mexicano, which is a sit-down Mexican restaurant that I've heard great things about from lots of friends who have been. So I'm excited to try it because Mexican is my favorite kind of food. It is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and reservations are highly recommended. So let's go grab lunch. Now, I should note for all the sit-down restaurants we've enjoyed, Blue Zoo, Bourbon Steak, and Rosa Mexicana, there is a lounge as well as a bar. Those are first come, first serve, and they do serve the full menu. So if you're wanting to just pop in for a quick bite or a glass of wine or a cocktail and an appetizer, you can do that. I have something to say. I think this could be a hot take. Chips and salsa is the best bread service.
I don't know that I agree, but I'm happy that you have a favorite.
Bread is delicious, don't get me wrong. I love bread. I am Oprah. But I think chips and salsa, on average, is better than bread service.
That I agree with. It is on average better than the average bread service.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is the best bread service.
No, the best bread service is probably like Palo, when you get that delicious gorgonzola bread. Yeah. But I'm saying if it's just like run-of-the-mill chips and salsa versus run-of-the-mill bread and butter, chips and salsa is better.
I agree, but it's still not the best bread service.
Well, what do you think? Is it Palo? Oh, the guacamole's coming. This is the best bread service.
That salsa is phenomenal. A little smoky, very like citrus forward. Not super spicy, doesn't have a lot of zip to it, but I do enjoy that salsa. We did ask our wonderful server to bring us something spicier because he has to like spicy food for the guacamole that he just prepared for us. And we said yes, so he brought us this, which is a house-made additional spicy salsa that he recommends. Oh, it smells so good. Mixing with the salsa they bring out. Tried it on its own. This is very deeply smoky. Actually a little bit sweet, but then there's a very slow heat that certainly builds. If you're spice averse, don't ask for this. But I know that Molly and I both love spice. Added it to the salsa. It's a great addition. It certainly is spicy and lingering on the tongue now. But I'm going to try the guac. Tableside guac, meaning they will prepare it literally by your table. You can upgrade it with different toppings and different sizes. We did the single as opposed to the double. And they will also ask you how spicy you like it. We like it a little bit spicier, so he put certainly more jalapeno in it than I think most folks would like. I know we do. But that just means you can build this to your own liking. Wow. It really is hard to beat fresh guacamole. For us, has a lot of cilantro, a lot of jalapeno, some red onion, tomato, chunky avocado. This is brilliant. And it's a problem because I still want to order mains. And I have to stop myself from eating all of this. So I'm going to have that little bit of a mental war going on, but I'm going to enjoy this for now.
Now, normally at a sit-down meal, we would record our audio later out of respect for the other guests and because it's loud in these restaurants usually, but it's lunch right now, not super busy. There's not tables super nearby us, so we're going to go ahead and record everything in real time. And taking a look at the lunch menu starts with some starters, classic things you're going to see on Mexican restaurants like guacamole, which they do tableside, queso, nachos. We've got a couple of salads and a couple of more unique things like taquitos featuring ahi tuna or lobster. They are known for their tacos, so each of these come with 3 per order, and you've got classic like grilled steak or pork carnitas, but also some unusual things like chopped cheeseburger or jackfruit if you are a non-meat eater. Then they've got a couple of sandwiches, including tortas, and then sides, classic Mexican sides like rice, black beans, and esquites. I'm super excited to try some stuff. And as far as cocktails go, of course, there are a wide variety of margaritas. Our server let us know the pomegranate is the most popular, but you've also got a blood orange, a traditional margarita. You can do frozen margaritas. You can do pitchers of margaritas. They have some spirit-free beverages as well, including a cucumber mint refresco. It sounds delicious. As well as a few other cocktails, including an old-fashioned, a paloma, a smoky negroni, a variety of beers and wines, and then a wide array of tequilas. Update, some other guests have come into the restaurant, so out of respect for them, we are now doing voiceover after the fact. But let's start with drinks. We both went for the Margarita al Gusto, which means you get to customize a margarita, and we both did the Mezcal and told them we like it spicy, which means we got to add a little chili tincture to it. This was a very delicious margarita. We both asked for them to go lighter on the agave, so mostly you can taste a little bit of spice from that chili, a little bit of smokiness from the mezcal, which is my personal favorite, fresh lime, half salt rim, simple, classic, delicious cocktail. Also, you may have noticed a new dip has appeared on the table because just like I'm a 3-drink girly at a Mexican restaurant, I'm a 3-dip girly. That means salsa, guac, and queso. You think I'm going to a Mexican restaurant and not ordering queso? Get real. That said, one of the 3 cheeses in the blend was American cheese, which I could taste and had confirmed by our server. Wasn't my favorite choice for queso because it almost tasted more like it would be a really good sauce on mac and cheese than what I prefer in queso, which is queso blanco. But if you like queso, give it a try. However, I do think the guacamole is the superior dip on the table.
For my tacos, I got the Beta Queso tacos. This is made with braised beef brisket, queso Oaxaca, cilantro, onions, corn tortillas, and a consomme dip. These were so very tasty with a huge depth of flavor. The tortillas were grilled perfectly, and some of that consomme had plenty of red onion and cilantro on top. The beef was nice and moist, not dry at all. There was tons of that Oaxaca cheese, and dipping it into the consomme really helped give it that extra bit of moistness and a ton of that rich smoky flavor. I loved these.
I decided to give the fish tacos a whirl, which are crispy market fresh fish. Today it was mahi-mahi, shaved cabbage, pico de gallo, the Rosa Mexicano white sauce, and corn tortillas. The first thing I gotta say is I love the portion of these. Yes, it's 3 tacos, but it's smaller, so I think it's more manageable than a lot of times when you see tacos at a restaurant. Big tortillas. I enjoyed the addition of the fresh lime on top, and the fish was perfection. It was light, white, bright mahi-mahi, tempura battered, so even though it's fried, it's not super duper heavy. All of the produce on top was super fresh and added a nice crispness to the dish. It was made even better by adding some of the salsa and guac on our table. These were excellent fish tacos, ones I would be happy to have again. Also, both our orders came with rice and beans, which were very good, above average, but very classic style rice and beans. Overall, this is very good Mexican food and actually had a good amount of spice and flavor throughout all of the dishes we tried, which can be hard to come by at a theme park, and I 100% would come eat here again. It was fantastic. All right, Rosa Mexicano, strong drinks.
Good food.
Lots of leftovers, which I'm excited to take home. And yeah, I think it's very in keeping with the Swan and Dolphin. The food's good.
I agree completely. Thoughts about the Dolphin and the Swan and Dolphin Resort Complex in general right now?
Ooh, okay. I do think I prefer the Swan. Let's start with the kind of like, I don't want to say negatives, but I just prefer the Swan. One, it's hard not to prefer a room that was updated within the last year versus a room that was updated a decade ago. These rooms are fine. They're nothing exceptional, but you know, they're new rooms over there.
Absolutely. I would also say in that same vein, the Swan is smaller and therefore more intimate. And the fact that you are sharing a complex together with the Dolphin means you can just walk over here and enjoy all of the delicious amenities and delicious food and great amenities that you have at the Dolphin. But the pros for the Dolphin are they're right here in this building.
Yeah, I think the pros are the same for both the Swan and the Dolphin, so it's really just what vibe you want more. You are at either one, walking distance to Epcot, technically walking distance to Hollywood Studios, or you have the boat to either.
We haven't mentioned yet, you have Fantasia Mini Golf walking distance too.
That's true. It's right across the street right there. And then again, you've got all of the Yacht Beach Boardwalk dining lounges also walking distance. So there, I mean, if you're a foodie, this is a prime location.
And I know I mentioned it before in the room tour, but if you are looking for the over-the-top Disney theming, that's not what you're going to find here. But if you are looking for the great amenities, you are a Marriott member, or if you want to pay a moderate resort cost for deluxe resort perks,
in a peak location.
Yeah, it's really hard to miss.
These resorts are somewhat of like a great secret at Walt Disney World that you, again, get to stay right here in the heart of property. this would be great during food and wine. They do their own very fun food and wine weekend that we've gone to just for fun, not for content before. But I think the main two draws of staying at either of these hotels, location and food.
Yes. Okay, well that brings us to the end of our stay here at the Dolphin Hotel.
Let us know where we should do our next staycation. We've got the Swan Reserve right behind us, which is the newest hotel in the Swan and Dolphin complex. And we have a few more Walt Disney World and Universal hotels, so let us know where we should stay next.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We would love to have you there. The links for all that are down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it has been truly magical. Fantastic. Nailed it. Nailed it. Also, that was our room. Isn't that crazy? It was right there. That's wild.